Howdy, I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. Coming to you from Chase the Heat headquarters in the beautiful Sunshine State, Tucson. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Reference there? Anybody? I got a sauce today to show you. It's Trinidad Scorpion Beyond Death. How about that for the name of a hot sauce, huh? Beyond Death. You know, you gotta go to the extreme. Well, it's hot. No, this is really hot. No, it's wicked hot. It's super hot. It's hotter than hell. Beyond Death. They're really just going for the apex, right? Anyway, it also says it's from the depths of hell. That's what it said. This looks like a beast. It's from Anthony Spices, an Arizona company. Listen to the ingredients on this. By the way, it just says right here, extremely hot. It only hurts in the end. The ingredients are you ready? First ingredient is Trinidad Scorpion Pepper Puree. Second is red jalapeno puree. Third, white vinegar, spices, and xanthan gum. All natural, no preservatives. This is from Chandler, Arizona. And I mean, this is a mash, essentially. I mean, this is hot. This is going to be a hot sauce, I can just tell you. Interesting. Now, there's the price for this sauce. Not griping at all. That's very reasonable. I got some really cool news to tell you about, and I got permission to tease. I remember, here's what happened. Some of you guys may have seen Super Hot. And if you have watched Super Hot, I want to thank you. It's getting great reviews. Everybody's very happy with it. Which, normally this would be a takeover, but not me. All right, so here's the deal. One of those. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Once in a while you see them. Anyway, here's what happened. I was in this show, Super Hot. Thank you all for watching it. It's on Hulu and Disney Plus. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. But here's what happened. A major fast food chain saw that show, and they reached out to me. And we're going to be doing commercials on TV. Now, I can't tell you the company. And I can't tell you, like, I even know what it's going to be so much fun. But this isn't going to be on YouTube. This is going to be, or on the internet. This is going to be in people's homes on normal TV. So this is going to be really, really cool. So, any guesses? If you guys want to guess who that might be. It's got a flow restrictor in this. Now, let me tell you how I feel about flow restrictors. I'm going to do it. Here's the deal. I own a sauce company. We don't put those in our sauce bottles. And I'm not knocking these guys for doing it. The only reason you would do that is if a sauce is just so thin, like water. That's a reason. You know, a lot of the Louisiana-style hot sauces will have a flow restrictor because it's essentially like a water. The only other reason is if it's so hot that a drop will do it. This, considering that it's just mash and some vinegar, it seems like it. Let me see if it's going to be thick enough to necessitate. It's going to be so thick. I don't know how well it's going to work. Let's see how it works. See, this is such a thick sauce. This is, like I said, it's almost a mash. Do you guys see how this is almost, and I've shaken the sauce, it's almost useless having this flow restrictor in here. So, here's what I want to ask this sauce company. As a consumer, when I was a consumer, just a consumer, it didn't make sense to me for the reason you just saw. I don't want to sit here and have to shake a sauce for 20 minutes. Then for years, people said, hey, start a sauce company. You should start a sauce. So I did. We don't put those in our sauce. Now, here's the thing. If they gave these to you for free, it's still a bad idea. And here's why. It is slowing down how fast people consume your sauce. You see, the quicker, if I love this, the quicker this is empty, the quicker I'm going to buy more of it. And when you put something in the neck of it that you pay for, man, if they said, we'll pay you $5 a bottle if you'll put a flow restrictor in, I'd probably do it. But that's about the only way I would do it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, now I'm gonna pour. Now look at this. This is without the flow restrictor. It's still pretty thick. All right, so smells super hot. It just smells like. All right, now this is one of those situations where while there are 2 peppers in here, there's the jalapeno and the scorpion. All I'm smelling is scorpion, so that's the dominant of the sauces. So from, what is it? Anthony Spices, Beyond Death hot sauce. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is JC. It's not as hot as I thought it was going to be. The taste is good. You can tell that it's a blended. The aroma is more scorpion, and I can taste the scorpion in it. But I also taste the influence of the jalapeno. It's a good sauce. You can taste the vinegar. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more vinegar than I thought it was going to be. I don't know what spices they use. But this is a good sauce. And, you know, I'm going to be honest. Anytime I see a label like that, something in me thinks novelty sauce. It's not a real sauce. It's a good sauce. It's not a novelty sauce. And this is a hot sauce. For a non-chili head, you wouldn't appreciate it. You probably wouldn't like it much at all. As a chili head, you're going to find it to be... 6 and up. Most would probably say 7, but 6 and up, maybe. Not a bad sauce at all. So, I'm so excited about this. I wonder if I can tell you a little bit more. I'll tell you this. When I first spoke with them, they said, let's do a Skype video. And they Skyped it, and they said that they really liked some of the stuff I did. They loved the skydive, and they said we wouldn't be able to ask you to do that because you've already done it. But this person said, do you have any crazy stunts you want to do, but they were out of reach financially? And I said, really? She said, yeah. So I said, get a pen. I made such a list of really crazy things that have just been way out of budget for me. I'm a small-time YouTuber. And she loved all the ideas, and this is really exciting. So you're going to see me in TV commercials for a major fast food chain. So I'm really curious to see if anybody can guess what chain it is. So here's what you guys can do. I'm not going to tell you what. All I'm going to say is it's a fast food American chain. So if you got American, global, I'll say that. You can make your guesses in the description box. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read before I get off. I have a few silly things of trivia I wanted to read to you. This is kind of cool. Have you ever seen the Australian slouch hat? It's a hat with up on one side, and it has a rim on one side, but one side's folded up. The intention of turning up the right side of the hat was to ensure that it would not be caught during drill movement of shoulder arms from order arms. Shoulder arms, where they do that, it would whack your hat. So that's why the hat's turned up. Who knew? I didn't. Oyster shells, listen to this. Oyster shells were reportedly in 1970s, New York used to build buildings. Oysters in the 1700s were so overly abundant in and popular in New York City that the discarded shells were repurposed into mortar paste to aid in New York's building boom. I did know that, actually. Did you guys know that? Some of these I wonder, and I'm sure you guys do. I read it, I'm like, I don't know. How do we know? You're just guessing. The asteroid that killed the dinosaurs did more than just punch a hole into the Earth. After the impact, they say 70% of the world's forests burned, tsunamis rose to the height of 300 feet, and 25 trillion metric tons of debris was ejected into the atmosphere that reduced sunlight by up to 90% for a decade. I'd like to sit down and have somebody explain to me, in normal terms, how they came to that conclusion. That just seems like a tough one to swallow. To me, how do you know that? All right. This is one of the craziest ones. Did I read this one already? No, I did not. This is the strangest one. This is almost like PG-13. So if you have kids, maybe don't let them listen to this one. I'll give you a couple seconds. This is a weird one. Okay, in the 13th century, a judge was convicted of taking a bribe and passing on an unfair sentence to somebody unjustly. His punishment was that they removed all of his skin, which obviously killed him. But what they did then was they took his skin and they made it into a leather chair. And it was from that point on draped over the chair in which the next judge would sit as a reminder of their their services, their duties, what they had to do. Judicial. There you go. Can you imagine that? And here's the craziest thing. The next person that sat there was his son. Wow, that's a crazy one, right? The topic of the first ever radio communication on board an aircraft in flight was a cat. It's your A-10 Warthog. No, it's not. Those are like F-16s or F-18s or something, but those are not Warthogs. All right, so one more time. In 1910, okay, I'm a giant cat guy. I love all animals, but boy, I could spend all day watching cat videos. In 1910, Kiddo, that's the name of the cat, Kiddo the cat snuck on board an airship and it ended up traveling with the ship during its entire 71-hour journey. Kiddo was adopted by the daughter of one of the airmen. But that happened to be the topic of the first ever radio communication on an airplane. They're like, dude, we got a cat on board. That was the first time they actually used communication. Pretty interesting. That's kind of a weird one. Huh. Here, no, that's a silly one. This is we'll end on this one. This was a really interesting one. We'll show you on that one. All right, who's heard the term that Vikings drank the blood out of the skulls of their victims? It never happened. Wasn't true. Not at all. It was a mistranslation of a poem. The belief was derived from an old Nordic poem that had the line saying that they drank from the curved branches of skulls. That meant horns, but it was mistranslated as skulls of those who they had killed. So they did. They drank out of... They typically drank from animal horns, or they did have cups as well as metal and wooden beakers. So there you have it, people. I hope you have a spectacular day. Mine is going really, really well. In the comment section, let me know what major fast food brand you think is hiring me. curious to hear your thoughts. In the description box, you're going to see a link for all of the normal stuff. Right there, you're going to see the bus. I'm just the driver. This is your bus, so hop on. Right there is the boat. That's my brother Tommy's channel. Right here is challenges, all the silly stuff I've done. Crazy stuff. If you're new to the channel, check out the challenges. There's 566 of them. I've jumped out of airplanes and ate peppers and thrown in tents with grenades. I've done some silly stuff. Check that out. You won't be bored. Right there's Pepperology for all you brand new people. I love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was Chase the Heat.